What's up guys? Nick Noke here. We are at Woodward West and today we are showing you guys 5 mistakes that beginner BMX and mountain bike riders make when they are starting out. Let's get to it. We're talking about 5 mistakes that beginners make, and the first and most important thing I see so much is, I see kids so often skipping the basics. A lot of kids will come here on the fly out and just try to learn whips and bars and all these tricks before they can air a quarter or jump a set of dirt jumps or anything like that. And if you have overall bike skills and you can jump through a dirt jump set or you can flow a skate park, once you start learning tricks, your riding as a whole will progress at such a faster rate. Because what happens is, if you just try to learn a bunch of tricks before you have any bike skills, you never really get to take those skills elsewhere. For example, I have my own variation of this. I can do so many tricks on this resi over and over and over and over again. But like for so long, I rode only this and I did all my tricks only here. It became so hard to relearn how to do those tricks on different styles of jumps because I kind of skipped all of that. Like I said, learn your manuals, learn to jump, learn to air quarters, just learn your bike skills and tricks will come naturally with that. All right guys, the next mistake I see beginners make is worrying too much about equipment. This thing, you don't need it. Just kidding, hold on, you need it. I'll be right back, hold on. Okay, I didn't mean you don't need it. You don't need the best of the best. The difference in equipment is not gonna make you Logan Martin. You're not gonna become Nikolai just because you ride Nikolai's bike, okay? You can't do a Simon Godziak Superman on Simon Godziak's bike. It's not how it works. Whatever you have, like people ask me, what's the best bike I could buy? Whatever you can afford, that's the best bike you could buy. Upgrade it later on, Yes, a lighter bike does help with certain things, but you gotta remember, dudes back in the day were doing so many of the same tricks on bikes twice as heavy as we're riding now. BMX bikes nowadays, most of them are under 20 pounds. Like, I've been out of BMX for a while. My bike was 25 pounds. And like people before me, like Dave Mir was doing double flips on 40-pound bikes. Like, you don't need to keep worrying about your equipment. Like, don't keep telling yourself, oh, if I had those bars, I would be better. Oh, if I had those cranks, or if my wheels were lighter, I could spin better. Like, no, it might make it easier, but it's not gonna make you do it. So don't keep worrying about your equipment. Ride what you have, and if you want something else, save up for it, but don't let that be, like, in your mind, don't let the equipment be what's telling you you can't do something. When you're learning a tail whip, a lighter bike doesn't really help you. Because a tail whip is all in the technique. It's all in the motion of your arms. Like, if you can't whip a heavy bike around, you're probably not gonna be able to whip a light bike around because it's not really about the weight. Once you know how to do it, yes, it'll become faster with a lighter bike or you can do more of them. But when you're learning the technique, the lightness of the bike really doesn't change it all that much. So as a beginner, I tell you, ride what you got. Make it work. The next thing I have to tell you for beginners, and this one, some people might give me some slack for it, especially the BMX kids. I know mountain bike guys, you don't really have to deal with this as much, but please leave your brakes on. Like, see this thing? See this thing right here? Okay, when you have brakes and you over-rotate a backflip, you yank the brake, really will help you out. See this clip right here? That's what happens when you try to flip on concrete with no brakes and you knock yourself out. That was me, by the way. Especially like when you're learning the basics, you have no reason to take your brake off. Your brake does not help you bar spin better. I can tell you that right now. You do not bar spin better without brakes. Every dude on the mountain bike tour besides freaking Pavel, everyone rides with a brake. Some with 2 brakes. You don't see them not doing bar spins. It does not help with that. What brakes does is, one, it's way safer. Like if you're trying to learn how to dirt jump and you're afraid and you don't have brakes, you're really gonna be afraid. Like, keep your damn brakes on, guys. That's pretty much all I have to say about that one. Like, your brakes are very necessary. Whether you run mechanical, hydraulic gyro, mechanical gyro, just keep them on because you will regret taking them off at one point. Like I said, a lot of skate park riders, whatever, take your brakes off. If you're a Mike Saavedra and you can flow dirt jumps like nobody's business, and you just feel better without brakes, do it. But those are very experienced riders. Like, as a beginner, there is no reason to take your brakes off. And that's all I'm telling you. All right, guys, my 4th tip that beginners make is being afraid to crash. Look, everyone's afraid to crash. That's a bad way of saying that. No one wants to crash, okay? But there's a difference in like not wanting to crash and the fear of crashing stopping you from progressing. There are plenty of things that can go wrong with just about any trick, any jump, anywhere. But if you're afraid of crashing and I've said this in a video before, if you are afraid of crashing and you are constantly thinking of what could happen, that's probably what's going to happen. This goes for downhill, for BMX, for mountain bike, for really anything. If all you're thinking is, oh, I'm gonna miss my hand on the bar spin, that's what's in your head. You're thinking about missing your hand, and you probably will miss it. If you're like, oh, I don't want to do this rock section because I think I'm gonna endo, that's all you're thinking about. You're gonna do it. Seriously, you will crash in this sport. Any extreme sport, you will crash. Even like gymnastics and stuff like that, you're gonna fall. You're gonna hit the ground, you're gonna get scraped up, you're gonna get bruised, you might get the occasional knockout. Like, it's gonna happen. My advice to you is learn your air awareness, and this all goes back to the basics. Like, if you're learning how to crash when you're not doing any tricks or when you're doing basic tricks, that is a much more valuable skill than anything. Like, knowing how to eject on a big 360 and baseball slide down the landing, that is very, very valuable. Don't be afraid of crashing, guys. Like I said, you're gonna crash. Sometimes it's gonna hurt, but more times than not, you're gonna crash, you're gonna get up and be like, boom, that was the worst that's gonna happen. Let's get it again.
There it is! Oh my God. You good? Nick, you okay?
It's not gonna go worse than that.
Yes!
R-E-S-P-E-C-T, don't know what it means to me. All right, guys, the last tip that I see beginners make a mistake. This is not actually even a riding-based mistake, but this is a big mistake, guys. This is something that really does bother me. I see it all the time, especially like local skate parks. You know, I see fucking hometown heroes and stuff, and not just beginners make this mistake. Everyone makes this mistake. The mistake of like not respecting other people. Especially when you're a beginner, like, you know, actually, here, let me rephrase that real quick. I hate it even more if you're a very good rider who doesn't show respect to other people, especially people of less ability level than you. Like, if you're good and you're talking shit to a bunch of kids, like, that's not cool, okay? But also, if you're a beginner and your buddy's a beginner and you just learned how to backflip and your friend doesn't know how to backflip yet, like, the only thing you should be is like respectful and like motivating for your friends or other kids at the skate park. Like, don't show disrespect or have an attitude because you're learning faster than somebody else. Like, no matter what level at riding or anything you are at, there will be someone better than you at something, and you can learn something from just about everybody. Like Sean here. Sean's like 15 years old. I'm like 23, almost 24. Fuck, I'm old. And there's a lot of tricks I could do that Sean can't do. And there's a lot of tricks that Sean can do that I can't do. Like, I would never be like, Sean, you suck because you can't backflip the resi, even though he double flipped it like 6 months ago. And this isn't me saying like, oh, you gotta respect people that are better than you. No, it's bullshit. Like, if you're at a skate park and some dude's shredding and he's being rude as shit to you and you haven't done anything, like, that guy doesn't deserve anything. He's not a cool guy. He probably doesn't have any sponsors. Like, don't worry about that guy. But just you be nice to everyone, respect everyone, and it'll come back to you. And if you're like respecting other people's riding and you're getting stoked for other people, that's only gonna help your own mentality and keep you moving forward with riding. Like, once you think you're the best and that everyone should like respect you and you should just be above everyone, you will plateau because you no longer have any drive for yourself and you just think you've already made it. So yeah, that's it, guys. That is my 5 tips. Hope you guys liked this video. I hope you learned something from it. If you think there's a tip that I missed, please comment it right now. Go ahead and like this video, share it with someone who you think would benefit from it, and I will see you guys in the next video.
Yeah. Yes.